And welcome everyone to this webinar on the topic of becoming future ready in healthcare, embracing digital transformation. My name, as Andy mentioned, is Shrikant Dev, and I am the Director of Product Management at Edgeverve. Healthcare industry is going through a major change in the last 2 years, especially with providers reporting significant losses. Uh, the need to provide the high quality personalized care has never been greater in the healthcare industry. Organizations that adopt the digital first approach and AI and automation technologies have a better chance of overcoming these challenges. To talk about these challenges but at the same time, the opportunities that are hidden in these challenges, I have with me Raj Konsagiri from Edgeverve sales team who is focusing on the healthcare industry. Welcome, Raj, to the webinar. Raj,
Thanks, Shrikant.
Thanks, Raj. Raj, as I mentioned earlier, healthcare industry seems to be going through some challenges at this time, but at the same time, we believe that there are a lot of opportunities for the players who are willing to adopt technologies. Do you agree with this view, Raj?
First of all, great to be with you on this webinar, Shrikant. Yes, I completely agree with you that there are challenges that we see in healthcare industry, particularly after the pandemic situation where agents have to work remotely. Healthcare has processes like pre-enrollment, prior auth, claims, appeals, grievances, renewals, which are all heavily adhered to regulations and defined processes. With almost 50% of the healthcare operating expense going towards the healthcare workforce, organizations are looking to see the effective ways to handle the workforce, reduce rework, reduce cost of errors, penalties, late fees, and at most the member satisfaction, which corresponds to the star rating and renewals, which is our ultimate goal, right? Okay. With rising labor cost, we have to look into technology that can help effective optimization of the work, provide value-added productivity tools for the agents to resolve the requests that they are working in, or the cases that they are working in the given time frame. All these need to happen with the factual data, right? It shouldn't be a biased data, non-biased information, which can be leveraged to streamline processes effectively, data that can be used to train workforce to perform tasks effectively, build a strong automation that can tie back to the ROI targeted during the initial stages of the project.
Absolutely, Raj, very well put on the challenges side. But just to dig deeper, would you care to elaborate on how technology will help in overcoming these challenges?
Yeah. Yes, enterprises today are constantly adapting to evolving customer needs, right? Significant cost pressures, intense competition, novel disruptions in the supply chain that we saw recently. To tackle these challenges, it's crucial to be agile, hyper-productive, and resilient, right? While this has led to enterprises investing heavily in digital transformation and intelligent automation, process mining can provide granular data to provide overall process visibility that can enable enterprises to address gaps in realizing value from their investments. This event, what we had an exclusive event that we are doing to identify challenges and opportunities in intelligent process automation and explore how healthcare industry can optimize their workforce productively and efficiently to gain immense value out of the applications or the platforms that they use, like RPA and the technologies that will help them gain there, is going to be much more interesting to talk about.
That's a great thought, Raj. Thanks for that. Do you believe that these challenges and opportunities are different for different players in the industry? Like healthcare has a lot of players like providers, payers, life sciences. So do you believe that the challenges are different for each of these, or they are the same?
Absolutely, Shrikant, absolutely, no doubt. Because everyone is working with a defined set of goals and budget to achieve their target, right? Whether it's payers, providers, or industries like pharmacy or drug industry. With healthcare healthcare organization, especially targeting to maintain the expense ratio to 80 to 85%, it's imperative to have efficient processes in place.
Yep.
With the patients and members expect a personalized care and doesn't want to deal with the hassle of sending manually filed or filled claims to file or follow up with the appeals and grievances. The expectation bar has been raised where patient and members expect the system that handles their request and the cases handled by the agents should be equipped with proper technology support to speed up the process. Absolutely. And bottom line, nobody wants to wait hours, let alone days anymore to resolve or settle any queries, right? Say, for example, when we talk about multiple players in the market, right? For example, providers. Providers need sophisticated technology integration, leveraging multiple data sources, caregivers, patient consulting history, caregivers roster and availability, the data that is required to provide a satisfied patient experience. On the other hand, payers need to have providers' latest update like rosters in their sites to source patients with timely and right information. If not, there will be chaos, right? Remember, we're looking for some information that is not available there. And if you take life science, with the supply chain disturbance that we have, and also the pressure on research and timely market for the drugs, and shortage in a skilled workforce have forced them to effectively manage the task in hand with cutting edge technology and modernizing the way that they are doing today, because it cannot be the traditional old way of doing things, right?
Yep. Yeah, that's wonderful, Raj. But I have a basic doubt, Raj. See, what you mentioned, that obviously healthcare and each player in this industry have to go through a lot of transformation today. But it is not new, right? I mean, and it is not specific to healthcare either. Large organizations across the verticals, across all sectors, have invested pretty heavily into digital transformation in last many years, and some of these digital technologies. So why haven't they seen the big change that is really expected? And specific to healthcare, why haven't they seen that transformation actually happening?
Yeah, great question, Shrikant. Yes, you're right. Most of the organizations have already invested heavily in the digital transformation, right, and technologies. But we have to understand certain key factors, right? In healthcare, the transformation is not just about creating some automations or system upgrades, right? It's about how healthcare organizations transform using technology to provide high quality service without compromising the regulations and standards, optimize patient member journey by improving operational efficiency in organization. And also, this is one of the major points where most of the organization miss, is an agent experience in how they're handling incoming requests or cases. This could be like reducing mundane tasks that they are doing, identify the right method to process a task, and also adopt the method globally to increase the productivity across. When we think about a digital transformation, it is not about technology alone. That is what we need to understand and accept globally. The tree bear fruits when the organization realizes the need, recommends optimization, define a mature process, open to automation culture, which is important because the whole organization should see this culture or should function in this culture, and continuously improve with the feedback that the technology provides, which all lead to serve a customer effectively and improve the customer satisfaction immensely. Now, why organization fail on digital transformation, right? If you ask me, it's lack of clear understanding of the goals and vision that the organization set to serve. For example, everyone talks about automation as soon as they start on digital transformation, right? But only organizations that understand the need of standardizing the process, understand the nuances of the process, identify processes that gives ROI, implemented them, tie the output to the ROI defined to achieve success. That leads in their successful journey of the digital transformation. There should be a completion of life cycle with responsibilities and accountability to each department in each step of the transformation process.
Absolutely.
Hope that helps, Srikanth.
Yeah, I think makes sense. Makes sense, Raj.
So, Srikanth, I mean, you keep asking me questions. I have a question for you. So
Sure.
while healthcare is facing these challenges in realizing true ROI from digital transformation, in general, AI and automation in particular, maybe, is this a healthcare only problem that you see as a functional expert in AI and automation? What is your experience?
No, absolutely, Raj. You are very right. I mean, this is surely not a healthcare specific problem. In fact, IDC, the one of the analyst firm, did a survey a year back or so, and what they found out was that 70% of the companies do not achieve the desired results from their digital transformation, and that's a big number. It practically means that only 30% of the organizations who invest in digital transformation are really getting what they intended or what they started off as a ROI that they were expecting. Okay, and we are not talking about some small investments. Okay, by the way, again, BCG did a survey and they found out that in the last about 10 to 15 years, almost $2 trillion have been invested in digital transformation across the industry. And as I said, it is surely not a healthcare specific problem. So what has actually gone wrong? Okay, and it's a big question, because it is not just about the fact that you are not getting the right ROI from your investments. It is also the fact that you are you are getting a revenue loss because of the inefficiencies that still exist in your organization, whether they are in terms of the process inefficiencies, people inefficiencies, or even how you respond to the market. What is happening is that with the very rapidly changing world, I mean outside world, where the customer expectations are changing very rapidly, you really can't sit on what you have. Okay, you have to keep adopting very fast, and unless your transformation projects are really giving that kind of agility to you, you will not be able to survive. Okay, and the same applies, what applies to digital transformation at a broad level, the same applies to automation as well. In fact, from Edgeverve side, we did a survey about a few years back, and what we found out was only one third, close to about 34% people, when we asked them a question that how successful is your automation program in meeting its objectives, only one third, 34% said yes, we are satisfied, or we believe that our automation program has been successful. So that again is a big number, and it kind of closely matches with the other number that I talked about, that only 30% people have realized the true ROI from their digital transformation. So you're right. I mean, it is not just healthcare, and it is not just automation either. I mean, unless, as you rightly said, automation becomes a part of a larger transformation, the organizations will not see the right value coming out.
Okay, that makes sense. That makes sense. So then what do you offer as the right approach, Srikanth?
See, we believe that, and again, this is based on our experience. As some of you might know, we are Edgeverve. We are a part of a larger organization called Infosys. Infosys is one of the leading IT systems and solutions company across the world. So in that sense, we have been working with many large organizations across the world in almost every vertical, including healthcare. Okay, so what the point I'm trying to make is, we as a parent and Edgeverve, we have seen the journey of many of these organizations as they started their digital transformation, as they have gone through this experience and process, and some of them either achieving the results and many of them not achieving the results as well. We have seen all this journey. What our experience has been, and what we have observed over all these years, is that there is a very clear or distinct difference between the people who succeed and the people who are not able to achieve that much success. Okay, I won't call them failure, because obviously they do achieve some ROI, but it is not what they expected with. Okay, and the people who really succeed, the people who really achieve their original goals or targets, they have some unique characteristics. Okay, and that is what we have observed, we have studied, we have analyzed. So let me just talk about some of those characteristics. Okay, the first and the foremost characteristic what we have observed in many of these organizations is that these organizations do not take a technology first approach. I know, I mean, it's a bit of a slightly uh, a confusing statement, okay, because we are talking technology here. What I mean by that is these organizations start with the customer journeys. They try, and when they start on their transformation journeys, they try and understand what is the challenge or what is the bottleneck in the journeys that their customers are taking. And I will give you a simple example. So let's say if you take a customer service as an area, obviously customers are reaching out to you for solving their problems, and then at some point they get a resolution of that problem that they have raised. But there is a lot of stuff that is happening inside your organization between these two endpoints, that is the customer raising a service request and they getting the resolution. And today when you look at a customer journey, typically most of the organizations only look at the customer endpoints, whereas the people who achieve success in transformation, they look at the end-to-end customer journeys, which includes the customer touch points as well as what is happening inside the organization. And hence when they transform the entire customer journey at one go, because that is when you realize the actual value. if you do it if you do it in silos, if you do it saying that, okay, I will only apply technology on the customer facing part, or if I only, let's say, do automation in my back end, back office, or if I only, let's say, put some AI on my analytics, that doesn't really give you the real results. Okay, uh, the biggest challenge we seen in many organizations that don't succeed as often as the other ones is that they have a lot of silos. There are enterprise grade silos, whether it is in people, process, data, technology. Everything happens in a silos. Everything happens within a particular group. Finance has one technology, HR has another technology, supply chain or procurement has a completely different technologies and data, and they don't talk to each other. And that is where the real challenges happen. So those are the two key areas where we believe that a lot of difference happens between success from transformation and a not so great success from transformation. The ability for organizations to see end-to-end customer journeys and the ability of organizations to really break down the silos. And when it comes to automation, the same principles applies. Okay, that if you are trying to automate individual tasks, small tasks here and there, you are really not going to get the real value. You are not going to unlock the actual value from automation. The best way to do automation is to apply it to the end-to-end process, and that means that you have to probably go much beyond the traditional RPA or that kind of automation. You'll have to get some AI, you'll have to get some rules engines, machine learning, all these technologies bring together to do that end-to-end automation. And the other part is you have to really scale automation. You can't just stop at 10, 20, 30, 50, 100 bots. You'll have to really look at the end-to-end process and have the ability to scale it that level. And for that, you need different sort of areas to really focus on. So those are the broad sort of themes what we have seen, Raj.
That's great, Shrikant. That's great insights from you. But you talked about two approaches, right? One from the process discovery approach for automation, but also a broader platform approach for digital transformation.
Yes. Yes.
Can you please elaborate on those so everybody can understand it better?
Yeah. So as I mentioned, so let me go from automation to digital transformation. Let me talk about the automation first. Yeah, you are absolutely right. So as I said, the biggest difference between the great success and not so great success is primarily about looking at automation as a way to achieve the end-to-end process transformation and not look at how many bots do I have or how many tasks I
Yes.
have automated, because that's not really going to give you the scale. When you look at scaling automation, which is what you really need to do, what the biggest challenge, and again, this is based on the survey that we did with our customers, the biggest challenge that we found out in scaling automation was the inability of customers to identify the right use cases. And this is a very common theme
Yeah.
we have seen across. Like many customers have very enthusiastically started with the automation journey because they had first 10, 15, 20 use cases very easily identified. Those were like low hanging fruits. You could just pick and go with it. But beyond those first 20, 30 use cases, the challenge to identify the use cases is really big. Okay, because you are not aware of your processes, you're not aware that which of these processes are really inefficient, and most importantly, you are also not aware whether the technology that I have, whether it is RPA, digitization, or ML, whether that is the right technology to really automate this. So, which is why, in fact, Edgeverve and we were the pioneers of an area called process discovery about 4 years back when we brought in the first product in this space, which is called Assist Edge Discover, because we realized this exact challenge, the ability or the inability of the customers to identify the right use cases. So we brought in this very systematic, very numerical kind of way of identifying the right use cases for automation, and not just identifying but even prioritizing. Okay, because obviously you may have hundreds and maybe thousands of tasks within your organization. There is no way you are going to automate all of them or even start at automating all of them at once. You need to pick the candidates which will give you the most or highest return, which is what we do. We basically systematically give you the way to identify as well as prioritize the right candidates. But that is one step, as I said. The bigger or more important step is to do that end-to-end process automation. You also need to go much beyond your typical RPA. As I mentioned, you need to look at multiple technologies and choose the right one that fits in or it's like almost like a pieces of the puzzle. You need to pick up the right piece so that you can complete the puzzle, which is the end-to-end process automation. So this is on the automation part. Now let me go to the broader area, which is the digital transformation, which is obviously much beyond the automation. And as I said, the biggest challenge what we saw there when we, again, based on all our experience, is that many organizations, and especially the large ones, and irrespective of which vertical they are in, we have seen this in healthcare as well, is that they have this challenge of silos. Okay, there are people silos, there are process silos, there are data silos, there are technology silos. And what I mean by silos is these are like almost like a bots who don't talk to each other. To really break these silos, what many of our clients and organizations have done is that they have chosen with point solutions. Okay, if I see automation as a need, I will get the one of the automation products and apply it there. If I see digitization as a need somewhere else, I will pick up the digitization product, do it there. But what happens pretty soon is that you have these bunch of technologies in your organization that don't talk to each other, which means that you now have to invest another huge amount of money just so that these products talk to each other. The digitization product talks to the automation product, the automation product talks to the workflow product, the workflow product talks to, let's say, your data hub or data exchange kind of thing. And only then you really start seeing the end-to-end. But even there are a lot of challenges, which is why we from Edgeverve side, we strongly recommend that the clients or the organizations really look at a platform approach, because the platform will give you that right flexibility to not only choose the technology that you need for your transformation, but more importantly, it gives you the flexibility to be able to use those technologies as you want. Okay. So that is where we are going now. Okay, that is where we are actually recommending to our clients that don't look at point solutions for your problems. They are not going to help you beyond a point. In fact, they will end up becoming one more legacy or one more sort of tool in your arsenal which you can't use. Okay, instead look at a platform which will help you scale your transformation. I hope that makes sense, Raj.
Oh yeah, yeah, absolutely. Don't go for a piecemeal. Go for a platform that can serve you all your or
Absolutely.
cater to all your needs, right? Okay,
Yeah.
this is really helpful, Shrikant. I'm sure healthcare can benefit greatly from understanding access process and getting process insights, right?
Yeah.
Because as discussed earlier, we need to have a clear vision and path for transformation that starts with normalizing and standardizing the existing process first, and then introduce optimization, right?
Correct.
For example, range processing. It's important to understand the variations in the same resolution across the floor, and understand what is the best optimized way and time effective approach, and use that as a benchmark to train the whole floor, right?
Yeah.
And even in provider roster for providers, provider updates that's coming in, or any member services that works behind the scenes, to understand why a request is processed in a certain way, that can help a training of associates or in turn stick to compliance while performing these tasks, right? It really makes sense, Shrikant. Yeah.
Absolutely, Raj. And I think the key here, as I think both of us are saying, is that what we call it as a connected enterprise. Okay, essentially, what we are imagining and what we believe all organizations should be striving towards is the ability for the enterprise to remain connected end to end. Okay, and some of the key benefits that we believe that will really sort of transform the enterprises is if they are able to achieve efficiencies at the scale, which means that it is not just about, as I said, piecemeal automations or piecemeal digitization. It is about unlocking the efficiencies that really lie in your enterprise. And I wanted to give an example when I talk about this. Uh, one of our organizations, they when they looked at automation, they really got this point that it's about scaling, it's about making it across the processes. Okay, and which is why they went ahead and within a few years they completed the automation of almost all possible processes within their finance and accounting function, FNA function. The result of that was that they were able to achieve a saving of close to about $21 million just in a period of 4 years. But that was not, I think that was not the real benefit. What we really saw is they were able to really unlock that efficiency that was locked inside the F&A function. They were able to free up people. Those people were able to do many more different, take up complex challenges, and they were able to take up many new projects that was important for that function. So I think that is the unlock efficiency which we really believe is possible. The second very important, I think, benefit from that platform approach and from the connected enterprise is the ability to amplify human potential. Okay, and this is something which is very, very true for healthcare, because we have seen this happening in healthcare industry where people get stuck in very routine manual kind of jobs, and we believe that there is a huge scope for amplifying their potential by removing a lot of that repeated manual stuff from their day-to-day jobs. And finally, again, which is very relevant for healthcare, is that because in healthcare, no organization or no company works in silo. Okay, they are part of a large network: providers, payers, life sciences, Obviously, you have the regulators who come in. So everybody is a part of a large network. But how do you really amplify that value of that network? Okay, that I think is the crucial part, very specific to healthcare, where I think there is a huge potential for the companies to really transform the way they are leveraging that network. There are challenges in the network, but more importantly, there are a lot of opportunities. And we believe that this platform approach can help them completely leverage that value that exists in their network.
I completely hear you, Shrikant, and I remember the case study that he was referring to. That's a very interesting and inspiring case study. And whenever I talk to my customers, I always talk about the bionic arm that we can provide for amplifying human potential on resolving any issues. I completely in sync and align with you.
Absolutely.
Yes, I'm pretty sure HS offerings that can help their clients in all these aspects, right? Do you want to touch base on some specific offerings where we can achieve this to the truest potential?
Yeah. So as I said, obviously there are point solutions which can help you in specific areas. From Edgeverve side, as I mentioned, we have solutions on every step of your journey. When it comes to the pre-automation, the discovery part of it, we have this assisted discover. When it comes to automation, we have our own RPA solution. And we also have to automate and orchestrate this end-to-end process that I keep talking about. We have a very good product called Assistage Engage, which kind of helps you with this end-to-end workflow orchestration and automation part of it. But what I'm really excited about, Raj, from our side, is that we are going to launch very soon the platform that we believe will really help you achieve this connected enterprise vision. Okay, which will really help you sort of scale your digital transformation to a completely new level. Okay, and that platform, the way our thinking, as I mentioned, is that it will free you up from all kind of inefficiencies that you have, whether it is in terms of the need for going for every point solutions, the need for getting stuck in a particular technology and not being able to get out of it. So we are coming up with this platform that will really free up that entire challenges that most of the organizations are facing today. So we are really excited about that.
Great. I think we are coming close. This is indeed a very valuable for the people looking for solutions to overcome their digital transformation challenges and scale AI and automation. We are almost on time. I hope this has been a great session for our audience. Just to summarize what we have seen or what we have heard, what you are listening to so far, digital transformation is inevitable and a clear vision and planning is required. Use technology to our strength in digital transformation journey. Know what, where, how to automate for an efficient automation strategy. How to obtain process insights, identify processes suitable for automation and create an automation blueprint. How insights-driven work efficiency can help thrive through possible future technology disruptions, right? Hope everybody sees this value in attending the session. Shrikant, any?
Thanks, Raj. And indeed, absolutely. That there is a hope that this has been a value add. We really believe you were able to get what you really wanted from this session. So I just wanted to thank Raj for this lively discussion. For any further information on Edgeverve and our offerings, please visit www.edgeverve.com. So thanks everyone for your time today, and have a nice day. Bye.
Yep, thanks, Shrikant. Thanks, Andy. Thanks everyone for joining. Thank you.
Bye.
All right. Well, thank you, Shrikant and Raj, for an exceptional presentation today. I don't know about anyone else here, but I learned a lot from that presentation. And I'm very excited to take what I've learned and apply it to my workplace. From what I understand, Raj, if you're here, I'd love to have you come off video and maybe off mute. We can chat about some question and answers. We have a couple questions, and we can move into that. If not, though, we can move onwards and forwards. Awesome. So with that, that is the first session for today. Again, Shrikant Deo and Raj, exceptional presentation. Really going over what it means for digital transformation in today's era and going over RPA, robotic process automation, and really giving us those key insights into how to take that forward. Some things that I captured from that is that enterprises today are constantly facing disruption. And one statistic they shared that I thought was exceptional was that 70% of companies do not achieve desired results of digital transformation. That is quite a staggering statistic. And in the innovation consulting world, that is a question every company is asking, is how do we create that digital environment, that digital transformation? So hearing that 70% of companies do not achieve it is both exciting and scary, because it's creating a huge supply and demand, or it's creating a huge demand for it. But it's also a little scary. You don't want to be the 70%, right? Another thing I heard from this session was that to really unlock that RPA, the robotic process automation, you have to automate not only the small stuff, but the large things as well, which can be scary. But what Shrikant said, I think, really rings true, is that's how you unlock the true potential of automation. Not only automating those small things like emails and maybe just text or small things, but automating those huge aspects of the company, which requires a huge front end, but in the back end can really benefit you. And also how they mentioned the challenge of silos. That is something in all innovation, I think, is a huge barrier. But the challenge of silos and creating a disconnected communication is universal to organizations. So if we can create communication avenues, ways for products to talk, way for digital aspects to talk with one another, I believe that is exactly what Shrikant and Raj were saying. That could be a huge solution to digital transformation. Another thing that I think, the last thing they said that this is going to ring in my head for a couple of days, is that digital transformation is inevitable. This is something that everyone is going through. It's something that everyone is experiencing. It is something that is happening, whether we like it or not. It's kind of like AI. I mean, half of the panelists today are talking about AI. AI is something that 3-4 years ago wasn't even really a thought process, but now it is in everything. So digital transformation is inevitable, and it's moving faster and faster and faster. And if you're not in front of it, you're behind it, and that is not where you want to be. So with that, I want to give just another thank you to Shrikant and Raj for that wonderful presentation. And we're gonna jump into a quick break. If there's any questions or if there's any chat, please direct it at myself or Brian Raffel, and we can get that answered and we can get that identified. But with that, our second session will start at the top of the hour at 10 o'clock, 10 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. So take a quick bio break, grab some coffee. I've got mine right here. Grab some water, and also just kind of reflect on what we heard today. Again, just to reiterate what I shared at the beginning, which I think really works well with what Shrikant and Raj were sharing, is the 3 myths of the modern world. The myths are: nothing is connected, you have to know everything before you start, and rational thinking is ultimately the best. But from what we heard from Raj and Shrikant, you don't have to know everything before you start. With the silos, if you have that communication, you can get moving, and then everything is connected. Digital transformation and robotic process automation are connecting the dots. It's connecting everything in a system that talks to each other. And while rational thinking is good, you need to combine it with creative thinking to identify and close those gaps that don't have direct algorithmic answers. So, incredible presentation. With that, we're gonna go into a quick break. It's gonna be about 15 minutes. So I'll be back here at 9:55 Eastern Standard Time. And then at 10 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, we will jump into the next session which is Bill Wong, and specifically the generative AI in healthcare. Very, very excited. I was able to chair Bill Wong's presentation in last year's BTOES in healthcare, so he's an exceptional presenter, exceptional resume, just great experience. So I'm sure that's going to be a wonderful presentation. So with that, just to remind you, use the chat, use the questions, use all of that. We are here to create a network. We're here to learn, and we're here to communicate. We're not here just to be an audience. We're here to also get involved. So be as involved as you would like, and access the creative potential we have in this group right now. So with that, we'll see you back at around 9:55, 9:56. It's about 15 minutes, and we'll get into the next session for today. Thank you so much. We'll see you in a bit.